If you apply liquidity to supply and demand strategy, you're going to have clarity on what to do whenever you open the chart. Now, applying liquidity to supply and demand gives you a very clear or clarity on what you should do on the chart. There are two factors you need to consider before you can be able to apply liquidity to your strategy or to your supply and demand strategy. Now, that factor is, first of all, you need to understand how supply and demand works, and as well the type of supply and demand. The second factor you need to understand is to understand how liquidity works, and as well the type of liquidity. I'm going to briefly explain how these factors works, and then we'll go to the charts and see them with our eyes practically. Now, the first factor, which is simply understanding how liquidity works, and as well understanding the concept of liquidity. Now, for you to understand the concept of liquidity, you have to bear in mind that liquidity says that price always have to buy before it sells. That means price have to give us a fake buy before it eventually sells. And now, there are basically about three types of liquidity. We have the trendline liquidity, we have the equal highs and equal lows, and we have as well support and resistance. So liquidity is simply everywhere that there's plenty surpluses. So everywhere in the market that people are actually putting their surpluses, that's where liquidity is resting at. Now, for you to understand liquidity very well, just bear in mind that price have to make the fake move before price make the real move. I think that covers for the factor one. Now, the factor two, which is understanding how supply and demand work, and as well the type of supply and demand. Now, for you to understand how supply and demand work, you need to understand price cycle. And now, price cycle tells us that price moves in different phases, in four phases. The first phase is called distribution. The second stage is called accumulation. The third stage is called expansion, and the fourth phase is called retracement. Now, what is simply telling us that when price complete this phase, it goes again and again and again. So whenever you open the chart, is that the market is distributing, accumulating, expanding, or is retracing? And if you're able to understand or see how you can spot these phases in markets, you're going to have clarity while you're trading. Now, there are basically about four types of supply and demand. We have the rally-based rally, the drop-based drop, we have the drop-based rally, and we have the rally-based drop. Now, all of these types of supply and demand can act as a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern. We are going to go to the chart, so we are going to see all these things with our eyes, or we are going to understand it on the chart. But before we go into the charts, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Divine, and what I basically do on the channel is to document how I trade and as well show you the mindset behind my strategy. If you've been interested in content like this, I want you to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and as well drop a comment. I'll be right back.
Now we're going to be analyzing USDCHF. But before we go into analyzing USDCHF, I want you to bear in mind that whenever you're applying supply and demand and liquidity, supply and demand is always very important at the higher time frame. That means anything above 1 hour time frame, that's where you should be looking for supply and demand. Whereas for liquidity, you should be looking for liquidity below the 1 hour time frame, that is lower time frame. So we're going to go to the high time frame now and analyze from the top to the bottom. Now, what we want to do on the high time frame is to identify the trend of the market and as well know what the high time frame is saying, if it's going to the downside or to the upside. Now, as you can clearly see here, what you can see clearly is that price is in the downtrend on the daily time frame. And how did you do that? By simply using our trend line to see that this place is a trend, and this is support. Now, this is valid because there's more than 3 touches on this trend line, and there's more than 3 on this trend line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is a valid trend line. So what do we do next now? Since I've seen that market is in a downtrend, we simply mark out our key levels or areas we want to be interested in. Now, this point here, if you look at this place very well and see the structure here, this price is creating lower lows. This is a low, this is a low, and this is a low, and this is the low, and that low gave us this high here. So this place I'm marking out our key levels where we want to pay attention to. And as well, I want to pay attention to this current place here. The price is here. So I'm going to use my toolbox to mark out this level here to see what price is doing at this zone here. Remember, I had to first find the trend. Then I'm marking out key levels, and I'm saying that this place is the key level. This place too is another key level, and this current position is a key level because it's right at the resistance level of this trend. So we're going to go to the 4 hours time frame and see the market structure, and as well identify the supply and demand. Now on the 4 hours time frame, what I can clearly see on this trend here now, this trend here is that price is creating higher highs, but what kind of demand or supply can we see on this trend now? Now, if you had to study this place I marked out, let me remove this thing so we'll not. But let me leave it here. Now, what kind of business am I seeing here? What kind of supply and demand am I seeing here? Am I seeing a supply level here or a demand level here? Now, if I'm to look closely, I'm seeing a supply level here, which simply says a rally, a base, and a drop. And rally base drop is simply a type of supply zone that shows a reversal pattern. That means price is creating a rally base drop kind of supply zone here, showing that price is going to actually reverse to the downside. So this place is a valid supply zone. This zone is a very valid supply zone for me. You might be wondering how did I identify the rally base drop kind of supply zone here. Let me zoom out very well so we'll see what I'm talking about. Now if you look at this place here, what did you see here? This was a rally, and now this was like an accumulation phase, and now this is like the expansion phase, and price is retracing back to this accumulation phase so it can distribute. So I'm able to identify that this is a rally, the accumulation phase is the base phase, and this drop is like the expansion phase. Now this green candle we are seeing here now is simply showing us that the price is tracing back to this accumulation phase so it can distribute. Now what do we do? Let's go to the 1 hour time frame and make it clearer or expand it very well. Now on the 1 hour time frame, it's still very clear for us to see that this is a rally, this is the rally, and now all this place now, all this base now is like the accumulation phase. Price is just creating equal high and equal lows, and what you can clearly see here is price expanded from the consolidation phase, which is known as the accumulation phase, and you can see clearly price is retracing back into this zone to continue distribution phase. As I'm able to identify that this is a rally based rally, and for every rally based rally, the supply zone is often this zone that price leave out, this zone here that price left out for us for it to come back and then distribute. So what I'm looking at for now is for price to come back to this zone and then I possibly look for a sell entry. Now let's go to the 15-minute time frame and see what's happening on the 15-minute time frame. Now if you can see clearly on the 15-minute time frame, price is creating a trend line liquidity. Now price is giving us lower lows and lower highs, and as you can see, price come to this place, and our price is taking out this trend line liquidity, it's taking out this high, taking out this high, taking out this high, just to fill this fair value gap here, or call it anything you want to call it, the supply zone, just to fill this supply zone. So what I'm simply waiting for is for price to come into this zone and possibly drop. So a possible setup for this USDCHF is simply waiting for price to come out of this zone and drop. And here it's going to look like I'm going to simply put my short button here, my short position at this level here, and my stop loss above these highs here. And mind you, I don't like to have stop loss of 20 pips and 25 or 10 pips. I like to have a very big stop loss so that price can actually have space to breathe. Now I'm going to put my stop loss around this area here, risking 25 pips and price possibly going down. So let me say so this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking out for on USDCHF. Possibly price should come down to this place here, but I'm not going to hold it to this place. I'm going to be taking it out of this position, USDCHF, and I've already explained how we were able to arrive at this point here. I was able to identify the rally based drop supply and demand zone. Then went to the 15-minute time frame and identified a trendline liquidity, which price is taking out, also known as retracing and taking out those liquidity, so that price can gather more fuel to drop to the downside. So for me, this is a positive setup for me on USDCHF, and I'm not going to have my stop loss to be 25 pips. I'm going to put it above this trend line here. 50 pips stop loss for me is okay on this particular setup. So this I'm going to be risking on GBP. How am I saying GBPUSD every time? USDCHF. Now let me analyze GBPUSD that I've been on my mouth since. Let me see what price is saying on GBPUSD. Okay, what you can see right now is the trend that is the setup I analyzed on my last video, where I talked about lower time frame supply and demand trading. This is exactly the trade I took, and see how far it has even gone. And I'm still holding up to this trade. I can show you that I'm holding this trade. I'm going to put a screenshot or a video screenshot that I'm holding this trade, and it's almost running almost 80 pips on this trade. Now let me show you how I was able to arrive at this GBPUSD setup, although I explained it on my previous video where I talked about lower time frame trading, but I can still give you a brief explanation of how I was able to identify this particular setup. Now if you look very well now, this place is simply a liquidity zone that I was able to identify on the 1 hour time frame here, although I began from the high time frame and came to this point here, and on the high time frame, which is for me daily time frame, it's simply giving us scenario that we are going to the uptrend. Let me explain that properly here though. Now you're able to see how I was able to identify these key levels here, showing that the price is in uptrend, which is this trend here, and this was a key level, and this was a support level that this key level gave us, and here as well the trend. So I was able to identify that it was an uptrend here, and I came to the 4 hours time frame and as well identified structure on this trend as well too, showing us that price is in an uptrend, but price broke below this trend here. But we're not valid. It's not a valid break that we are seeing here yet. All price was simply to engineer liquidity and take out the liquidity. You can see price took out the trend liquidity, took out this equal button here, and then give us this low here. So you go to the 1 hour time frame here. If you go to the 1 hour time frame here, you can simply see it clearly that price gave us this equal lows here, which is liquidity, this trend line liquidity here as well. And also can see price clearly took out this low here, and when price got to this key level, we gave us this key level here. Price gave us a change of character, which I showed with this blue line here. Price gave us change of character, and then price came back to this my demand level here. And you can see what price I've been doing since then, creating higher highs and higher lows. I'm going to show you a screenshot of this trade I took out here. If you want to be seeing setup like this, I don't analyze trade backward. I analyze trade forward. So whatever trade I'm dropping on this channel is basically what I'll be taking in the future, or what I'll be taking at that moment. I don't try to show previous chart or analyze previous chart. I like to analyze it forward. So for this trade now, I'm running almost 80 pips profit on this trade, which I will put somewhere around the screen for you to see. If you want to be seeing content like this, I want you to subscribe, like this video, and as well drop a comment. Let me analyze AUDJPY and see this one to do the same thing. So these are my three basic pair I always trade: USDCHF, GBPUSD, and AUJPY. This trade I spend time trying to trade and always trading. And the reason why I always trade this trade is because of the concept called correlation. I'm going to make a video about correlation. If you want to see the video, or if you want to get notified when the video drop, I'd like you to subscribe, drop a comment on this video, and as well like this video. You'll see me on the next video. Peace.